Hey every peoples, Marcus from Fifth Ace Comics here, and welcome back to Ironsworn. Now before we get started today, I just wanted to say a big thank you for getting this channel to 100 subscribers. I know that's not a huge milestone in comparison to some other channels out there, but it feels good to hit triple digits, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been subscribing over the past few weeks. I'll probably do a proper thank you video at some point. It might be a speed paint or something like that. But for now, just wanted to express my gratitude for you guys, so thank you. Anyway, when last we left Tamara of the Iron Wardens, she had just returned from the Pass of Runes. She had recovered some sacred runestones of the ancients that have magic within them that could possibly contain the meteor that has spread the Iron Blight across this section of the Ironlands and has driven the Firstborn into attacking the Ironlander settlements. With the help of Jihan, the Bird Lady, she has fashioned a basket that can hold the meteor and surround it with the magic of the ancients and hopefully contain the spread of the Iron Blight. And while she was returning from the Pass of Runes, she came across a dead body with a note describing the escorting of someone named Beltran to a settlement called Lost Hill. And we don't know too much about that, so I think for the first, just to get a little bit of context to start off the session, because one, we don't know where Lost Hill is, and two, we don't know where the Mine of Spring is. Now the Mine of Spring is where the meteorite has fallen. So I just want to fill out the map a little bit first before we spring into whatever it is we're doing today. So first thing I want to know is Lost Hill close to the Mine of Spring? Because obviously if it's a mine, there has to be some kind of people living nearby to reap the bounty of this mine. So let us consult the oracle and find out, regular oracles, not delve oracles. Let's ask the oracle, is Lost Hill the settlement that reaps the bounty from the Mine of Spring? So let's roll 50-50 and find out. Switch over to mark here. Roll it. No. Okay. So if there is a settlement nearby the Mine of Spring, it is not Lost Hill. So let us have a quick look at the map over here. So we have a look. So we found the dead body somewhere between Jihan's hut and the Pass of Runes. So my assumption is that Lost Hill is either around here somewhere or down here. And I say whichever one that it isn't is where the Mine of Spring is. So let's find out from the oracle once again. Go back to our character sheet. So, oracle, is Lost Hill to the north? Yes. Okay, so that means Lost Hill is somewhere around here, which means the Mine of Spring is probably around here somewhere. Because I think this is close enough to the coast that the Etania living along the coast here would be affected by the meteor. So we're going to say that the Mine of Spring is somewhere around here. Let us put a token down to indicate it here. Okay, there we go. So there is the Mine of Spring around there. And we're not going to worry about Lost Hill just yet. If we start heading in that direction, we'll probably plunk it down. But for now, that is where the Mine of Spring is. So Tamara has recuperated a little bit at Jihan's hut, and she is once again ready to set out and take on this journey. And she has this basket now. It's this large woven basket lined with the runestones that have been empowered by her blood in the ritual that Jihan wove, so that Tamara might be able to contain the meteor within this. So let us go. Let's make this a bit bigger. So, having rested and recuperated a little bit, Tamara prepares to set out, and Jihan once again calls out to the sky, and her Osprey scout, Chandra, who helped lead Tamara to the Pass of Runes in our previous session, once again swoops overhead and prepares to lead Tamara towards the Mine of Spring. And Jihan says, "Good luck on your journey, but be wary. The power of the Skystone has not just ravaged the land, but the beasts surrounding it. There may be more than you bargained for within the mine. Tread cautiously, and keep your wits about you." Tamara says, "Thank you for all you have done. I will return with the Skystone, that we may dispose of it properly." Okay. So we're going to start out by securing an advantage. This is going to be symbolic of Tamara trying to keep up with Chandra, because Chandra apparently has a bit of a reputation for being rather flighty, which is ironic considering she's a bird. But let's make a roll with expertise, insight, or observation. This is wits. So let us... that. I don't think we'll get any kind of +1 on this. No. So we're going to submit. Yay. Perfect start to the session with a miss. Okay. So either Chandra is feeling a little bit cheeky or Tamara's not paying enough attention, but this hawk gets away from her to start. So we got to pay the price. Let's see. Let's roll and see if it makes sense. Come on, Oracle, be nice to me now. A surprising development complicates your quest. So, maybe... Okay, I've got an idea for this. When we were in the Pass of Runes, Chandra encountered a rather mad zealot of the ancients called Kai. And one of the consequences of us escaping the Pass of Runes was that Kai was plotting revenge. So maybe he has sent something after Tamara that is going to complicate her journey somewhat. So I'm going to say, when we set out on the journey, if something goes wrong, if we score a miss, the first miss that we get on this journey, we are going to be attacked by Kai's, by whatever it is that Kai has sent after us. It's probably not going to be anything too major, but it's going to potentially slow Tamara down. So that'll be the complication, the surprise development. So we'll see where that goes. Okay, so let us undertake the journey with no bonus, unfortunately, but that's fine. Okay, so let us shift the journey. Let's say find the Mine of Spring. It's going to be a troublesome journey once again, because it's not too far away. And despite Chandra's flightiness again, it's still fairly close by. So, let us undertake the journey. No advantage this time. Once again, we're rolling with wits. Oh, good grief. That's the second time in a row. A 10 and a 9 on the challenge dice. So Tamara has barely left the thicket before Kai's agent jumps her. And I think this is probably going to be... what could Kai send after her? probably other zealots. So he sent like a small band of his followers after her. So let us go to the progress. And let us add a foe. And Kai knows that Tamara is a strong fighter, so he wouldn't just send one person after her. He's going to send a few. So this is going to be a dangerous foe. There's going to be 2 or 3 of them. And once again, we're going to enter the fray with an ambush. Because these people just seem to keep sneaking up on Tamara. Wow. What have we got ourselves into? Okay, so we're going to enter the fray. So Tamara exits the thicket. She's preparing to journey south. And before, like, she's barely just left the tree line when these zealots burst out from behind her. They were waiting for her to leave the cover of the forest, and then they just jump her from behind. So we're going to enter the fray. Shall roll with wits, because we're being ambushed. Haha! Strong hit with an opportunity. Fantastic. So we get +2 momentum and the initiative. So let's go over to progress here. +2 initiative. And we're going to get an opportunity here. So as these guys jump her, Tamara, she hears the rustle of the bushes as these guys charge out, and they're dressed in not very sophisticated armor. It's like probably very basic leather at best, and they're wielding like sharpened sticks, or they could be proper spears even at best. And they've got these weird cobbled together masks that are sort of symbolic of what the ancients were before they became the Broken. And they leap out of the thicket, howling and screaming. Tamara is already like on the ball, shield up, axe out, ready to fight. So, an opportunity. Okay, I'm gonna say this opportunity is that for her first strike, Tamara is going to get a +1 on her strike. Like, she sees these guys coming, she's prepped, she's ready, so she'll get an automatic +1 on the strike. But before we do that, we're gonna use the assets. We're gonna use the Sunderer ability, as we are known to do. So we will drop a momentum, and then we shall strike, and we're gonna get a +1 because of the opportunity. So I'll say iron. +1 modifier. Roll it. Strong hit. Maximum roll. Nice. So as these guys charge towards her, Tamara hears their howling, spins around, brings her shield up, batters aside the spear of the first guy, and swings her axe down, crunch, on top of him. So we'll go to our progress here, and we will mark 3 harm against these guys. Now, with that strong hit, I could roll to conclude the fight, but the last time I tried that on a 6 marked progress bar, it did not go well. So I'm going to stick with the fight. And I'm just going to strike again. Tamara strikes down the first zealot. She brings up her axe the second time. Again, we are not going to bother with dropping a momentum for the Sunderer, because we only need to deal 2 more harm to finish the fight, basically. So let us roll iron. No modifier this time. Roll, and it's a weak hit. So close to another strong hit. That's fine. So we shall mark 2 more harm. So the progress is full, but we can't finish the fight without a strong hit. So we've lost the initiative now. So Tamara knocks down another one, but the third one is trying to find an opening here. So this time I think we shall face danger. Because we're going to try and... Well, actually, no, let's try and compel him, actually. Let's see if we can intimidate him into backing off. So let's roll with iron. And we're going to try and intimidate this guy. Tamara's going to, like, beat on her shield with her axe, and she's going to shout out, "You really think you can take me? Bring it! Come on!" Okay, it does not scare him off. We do get a momentum for a hit. So he would do what we want, but he obviously asks us something in return, which isn't really going to work. And again, it's a weak hit, so we can't conclude the fight on a weak hit. So I think he's going to stand there and say, "This isn't over, Giant One. Until you submit to the will of Kai, you are never going to be rid of us." And Tamara's going to kind of roll her eyes, and it's like, really? And for that, I think she's going to face danger, and she's going to try and drive him off. Once again, using her shield. Like she did with the Broken in the previous session, she's going to sort of like charge him down with her shield. So let's roll. Face danger with iron, and we're going to get a +1 because we're using our shield. She's going to charge at this guy. There it is. There's the strong hit. She charges down this guy, smashes into him with her shield, knocks him to the floor. She kind of plants her foot on his chest and aims her axe right at his face and says, "You go back to your master and tell him that our quarrel is concluded. If his ego cannot take the fact that I defeated him and his abomination, then he will meet a far worse fate than what you suffered here today." She'll kind of step off of him and give him a bit of a kick, and he'll sort of scrabble to his feet and run off. Wow, okay. Jeez. That was unexpected. So let's go to the progress here. We'll roll to conclude. Are you serious? It's a weak hit. Oh, jeez. Okay, so it's still a weak hit on that. So let us... damn it. So we've ended the fight. So I think... I mean, we could say marked for vengeance, but we're already marked for vengeance by Kai and his lot. So I think this is going to... I think we're going to have to endure stress for this, because Tamara wasn't expecting this, so we're going to drop to 0 spirit, because she was not expecting to be attacked. She put on this brave face, but she was not expecting to be attacked. So let us endure stress. And we're going to roll with heart. The weak hit, press on. Okay, so we kind of run out of spirit, but we're not shaken yet. So that's fine. Okay. Wow, great start to this journey, huh? So, Tamara's going to undertake the journey again. Keep going. Strong hit, there we go. That's better. Okay, so we'll go to our progress here. We will clear this one. We'll leave that there just in case. So we shall mark progress. And let's see. We've got a little bit of momentum to spare. We've got a bit of supplies to spare, but I want to keep supplies up at this point, because I think Tamara's going to want to make camp at this point here. So let's well, before we make camp, let's check the oracle and find out what this waypoint looks like. So Regular oracles, not delve. So, location. Where are we? We're in a pass. Okay, so maybe there is some smaller mountains down this way as we're heading down here, because we are on the edge of the hinterlands coming up here. So maybe there's like a small mountain pass. It's not even like real mountains. They're just like really high hills, and there's like a little pass going between them. And Tamara will figure this is a good place to set up camp. Is there anything particularly interesting about this pass? Oracle? Give me a 50-50. What's here? Anything? Yes, there is something. Okay, so what is going to happen in this pass? Let's roll in the action and theme. Figure out. Take hate. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so I think as Tamara is going through this pass, she will see sort of the remnants of what looked like an encampment of some kind. Like someone made camp here before, but there were signs of a struggle. And there's not much left. And she can see there are several dead bodies. Oracle, are these human bodies? Tell me, do these bodies belong to the Ironlanders? Because, again, this is a 50-50, I think. Oracle, are these Ironlanders' bodies? Yes, they are. So, this was an Ironlander encampment, probably some, like a scouting party or just some hunters or something. But they've been slaughtered, and it looks like it was done by the Firstborn, because the bodies have been strung up in sort of a mockery of the Ironlanders, and Tamara can see there's elvish runes being painted in the Ironlanders' own blood on their faces and exposed skin. So this was sort of like an elvish hate crime against the Ironlanders, and they've taken everything valuable that the Ironlanders had. A quick search of the area reveals that like there's no food supplies left. There's no extra blankets or weapons or anything. The elves have taken everything here and strung up these Ironlanders in their hatred. So it is with a heavy heart that Tamara will retrieve the corpses from where they've been strung up, and she will give them a proper burial under some stones. She will arrange a cairn for these slain Ironlanders. And this is now going to be an affirmation of her vow that she wants to keep the Ironlands safe. And she realizes that means she is probably going to have to confront the elves at some point. And secondly, that she must keep her wits about her, because if the elves are in the area and if they are active, then she has to be extra careful. But she is going to make camp here tonight to watch over the corpses in the evening. So let us go back to our moves. Let us make camp. And let us roll supply. No extra modifier. It's a weak hit. Okay, I think let us get a little bit of spirit back. I'm going to try and get our health and spirit up, because we're still fairly good for supply, but we got to keep the health and spirit up, because when we go into the mine, it's going to be a pretty dangerous place. So we're going to try and get our stats up as much as we can. Okay. So in the morning, Tamara, she's taken some time to relax, but she's been watching over the cairn of these slain Ironlanders, and she is going to undertake her journey once again, now keeping an eye out for any elves that might be in the area. Let's roll. Continue the journey. Strong hit again. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. So we will mark some more progress there. I'm going to keep my momentum. I want to also keep my momentum up as much as possible, so we won't move at speed. We're just going to make good use of resources. And we shall reach another waypoint. Oracle, what is this waypoint? Give us a location. Coast. Okay, that doesn't really fit because we are a little bit more inland. So I'm gonna say a mulligan on that roll. Going in. Mountain. Okay, so maybe there are some. This is a bit more of a mountainous area. Like I say, we're heading towards the hinterlands, and maybe this mine is at the base of some of these mountains. So the pass sort of like weaves its way around the mountain as it starts to get taller. And let us find out. Oracle, anything interesting around this mountain? Yes, something else is happening here too. Okay, let's give another action and a theme. Find out what's happening. Capture shelter. Capture shelter. Okay, so maybe at the foot of this mountain there is sort of like a log cabin or some kind of small outpost that's sort of either like a hunting lodge. Maybe it belonged to those Ironlanders that were in the pass. Maybe they first set out from this hunting lodge, and that was when they were ambushed by the elves. So maybe this shelter has been captured by the elves. So as Tamara approaches, she can see that the place is in disarray from the outside. It looks like there have been more signs of a struggle, and this cabin has been overturned, like stuff has been thrown out of the window, and she can see inside through the windows there's movement about. So Tamara is going to, she's not particularly stealthy, but I think she's going to try and be cautious here. So I think Tamara is going to face danger with Shadow to try and approach as quietly as she can. This might not work, but that's okay. So let us roll. Find out. Not Iron, Shadow. See if she can sneak up a little bit. Nope, it's a miss. Okay, yeah, Tamara had no hope of sneaking up. So as she approaches, she tries to be quiet, but it's at the base of the mountain. It's so wide open, and she is such a large target that immediately the movement inside. Let's see here. Oracle, tell me, is there more than one? Give me a 50-50. Is there more than one foe inside this cabin? Of course there is. So, as Tamara approaches, the door of the cabin like bursts open, and these two figures like leap out, and they've got these strange-looking weapons. They're swords, but they're not made of iron. They look like they're made of wood, but the wood itself is shiny. I mean, I don't think varnish really exists in the Ironlands, but it's probably some kind of resin or sap. It probably makes the blade of this wood look almost like an eerie pale orange. The way that the blade has been cured with this natural resin. These long curving blades, and the figures themselves are these thin, almost grayish skinned humanoids, and they're wearing these very intricate wooden masks, because that is what the elves are known for in the Ironlands. They wear these very elaborate wood carved masks, and they see Tamara there, and they immediately like ready their weapons. Tamara brings up her shield and her axe. So let us roll on a disposition for these elves. I want to know what they're, if they're like immediately hostile. Some of these won't be probably won't work, but let's roll and see. Cooperative. They're more cooperative in the sense that, like, if you do what they want, they might leave you alone. But given that they, like, just committed hate crimes against the Ironlanders, this is probably going to be rather bad for Tamara either way. And so Tamara's going to see them there, and she's going to shout, "You! Were you the ones who slew my kinsman?" And the elves will kind of look at each other, and they'll talk to, and they'll be like this quick back and forth look between them. They might be talking. Like, do the elves even need to talk to each other? Maybe they're psychic. I don't know. Maybe they can just, like, communicate to each other almost silently. Even if, like, they whisper so quietly, it almost looks like they're speaking psychically. And they start to slowly approach from the doors of the cabin, and they kind of split off from each other as they look like they're trying to flank Tamara. And one of them will call out to her, like, "Perhaps we did, human. And perhaps we slew even more inside of this dead hovel." And I think when he says dead, he means that it's because it's made out of wood that has been cut down. That's sort of like a cultural thing for the elves. They would see any kind of structure that has been deliberately built from cut down trees as dead, because they probably are able to grow the tree. Their magic can grow the trees into settlements for themselves. They don't need to cut down any trees. "Dead bodies for a dead building." And Tamara will say, "So you think that's good sport? Slaughtering people in their homes? You think you would stand a better chance in a straight fight?" And I think she is going to try and compel them. She's going to try and intimidate them. This is probably not a good idea to fight these guys, but let us try and compel them with iron to back off. Let's try. No. Nope, they're not interested in cooperating. So even though Tamara can't see the elf's face because of the mask, she can almost feel his smirk coming from the other side. And the elf will say, "Oh, I think we could do very well in a straight fight, especially since you're outnumbered 3-1. And Tamara will think, 3-1? And then she realizes that a third elf has crept up from behind and is ready to attack her. So let us enter the fray with an ambush once again. Okay, let's set a foe. This is going to be formidable because they're elves and there's 3 of them. So elf raiders. Okay, so let us enter the fray using wits. Strong hits. Oh boy, Tamara's reflexes are good. That elf gave away his ally's position a bit too much there. So let us chalk up some momentum. Up to 6 momentum. And Tamara is going to wheel around and immediately block this elf coming in with his own sword. She like immediately spins around, catches the blade on her shield, pushes it away, and strikes. And I think once again we are going to drop a momentum so we can sunder. Let's roll. Come on. Give me a nice one. Oh, thank you. Strong hit with an opportunity. So Tamara is going to let's mark our progress here. 1, 2, 3 harm. So Tamara will, like I say, she catches the blade of this elf with her shield, pushes it away, brings her and follows the movement of her turning of her turning aside with the shield with her axe to immediately strike down against this guy, sunders through whatever kind of armor the elves would have. I think they probably have some kind of woven leaves, but like something you might see in other fantasy might call like iron leaf or iron bark. They wouldn't call it iron. The firstborn don't like iron. So, but whatever they call it, whatever this woven armor is, it's no match for Tamara's axe, and she just sunders through it and knocks this elf to the ground. And I think with her opportunity, she is going to be able to compel. She's going to try and compel them again, and we'll get a +1 for it. So let's try and intimidate them again with iron. We get a +1. See? Oh, a strong hit and an opportunity again. So Tamara strikes down this elf, turns around and shouts, "This is your form of fighting? Treachery and backstabbing? You really think you can take me on?" And she's like battering her shield with her axe again. And she's gonna yell, "Leave now, and if I'm feeling generous, I might send this one back with you." And so with that strong hit, the other two elves are going to turn and run. They're like in full retreat now. They see this is like too much for them. And I think, let us change. We're going to change the difficulty of the fight down to dangerous, because now we're down to 1 elf. Okay, so Tamara's got these two at full retreat, but this other one, he kind of like shoves her foot away and tries to stand himself, but Tamara is still in the fight with him. So she's going to strike once again, and we'll drop another momentum for the sunder. Oh, actually, I should have gotten I think I should have gotten momentum back for that compel. So yeah, it stays there. So we're gonna roll, because this guy's still trying to fight back. So it's a weak hit. That's fine. There's our progress. Mark 3 harm. And now I think we shall conclude the fight. Let's roll to conclude. And it's a strong hit. So, oh no, I couldn't have concluded it on a weak hit. Okay, ignore that. I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, so now we're going to clash again. He's looking really rough. He probably shouldn't clash, but Tamara is ready. She's going to clash, and she'll get a +1 because she's got her shield. So let's clash quickly. Come on, maybe we can end this now. Nope, it's still a weak hit. So he's not going down without a fight. But we do still inflict the harm on him. So when we can end this fight, we're definitely going to finish it. So I think Tamara is going to go back to her tried and true strategy of fending him off with her shield. We're going to face danger, and we are going to just going to keep battering him down with the shield and enduring against him until he wears himself out. Go. Oh no, that's a miss. That's a miss. He gets through. We're going to have to endure harm. We're down to 0 health, and got to endure harm. Come on. Rolling with iron. Weak hit. Press on. Okay. Come on, Tamara. It's just 1 elf, and you've nearly beaten him to death already. Come on. Let's just get that shield going. Come on. There it is. There's the strong hit. Okay, so now we will roll to end the fight, which we'll definitely do with an opportunity. Oh, there we go. There, that's what we're after. That is what we are after. Thank you. Get a momentum back for the strong hit on face danger. So Tamara is going to... She weathers the blows of this elf fighting back and then just shoves forward and slams the shield into his face, knocks him down to the ground, and she sort of, this time she goes down on her knee. She like presses her knee into his gut and holds her axe against his throat and says, "I should think even you would know when you are beaten." And the elf kind of just like drops his sword. And Tamara says to him, or her, we don't know. I think elves are probably fairly androgynous and they don't care about gender. But Tamara says to them, "You will find your companions. You will leave our territory, return to the wilds where you belong, and maybe you will face no further retribution from me." And I think with that opportunity, we'll call that like an automatic success on the compel. Maybe we can compel. We'll compel, but we'll compel with a +1. So again, this will be with iron because we are threatening him, and we'll get a +1 as the opportunity. Roll for it. Yes. Okay. So we'll get +1 momentum for that, and the elf will sort of nod. Because even though Tamara can't see their face, the elf is very clearly terrified. And kind of like scrabbles to get up. And as Tamara gets up, she kind of like puts her foot down on his sword and says, "You're not taking this with you. Get out." And the elf just like turns and runs. And Tamara will set aside her axe for the moment. She'll pick up the elf blade, and it's, like I said, it's carved from wood and treated with resin, like with natural sap resin, and very curious looking weapon. So I think Tamara will hang on to the elf blade. She's not really a sword specialist, but I think she would want to learn more about her foes. And so she wants to study this blade a little bit more and maybe take it to someone who would know more about it. So she's going to hang on to that for now. And with the elves gone, I think she will take an opportunity to heal. Going to heal up. So we will roll with iron. Gotta rest for a second. Here. Wow, look at all these opportunities coming through. Okay, this is great. So we're going to get +2. And I think with that opportunity, I'll be allowed to make camp here as well. Because normally you would only do one. Would only do one move before setting off again. But I think with this opportunity, I think that means we will make camp in what's left of this hut. So let us make camp. Roll with supply. Yeah, we do. And it's a strong hit. Oh, wow. I'm actually now exceptionally glad we fought those elves. So let's relax and recuperate. So we'll get some health and spirit back. And while this is all very well and good, it's still a bit of a somber time for Tamara. She will, she obviously finds a couple more dead bodies in the hunting lodge, and she will once again give them a proper burial. She will organize cairns for them, because we're next to a mountain. There's rocks everywhere. She can easily organize a cairn. And again, the elves have sort of stripped this place of anything valuable. But she now has an elf blade. If this were the sort of game to mark inventory, that would certainly be a thing. But yeah, she now has an elf blade that she's taking with her. We'll see what that means at some point. That might be a useful bargaining chip, or we may learn some things about the elves. But yeah, we'll see what happens.